And we're live. Everybody here, Todd Schroth here. Happy Friday. Just wanted to give a quick shout out. Follow us on Facebook and YouTube at Agents Who Win. I'm here with my buddy Scott Pierce with Listings to Leads. We wanted to talk about lead generation. And Scott and I have known each other for a very long time. His program is just resurfaced to my head for some reason. And I thought it was a great connection to bring back here. Everyone's always figuring out how do I get more leads. And we want to kind of get rid of the word leads and call them opportunities.
Yeah.
And how can I get in front of more opportunities and stay in front of them for the long term? And Listings to Leads to me has really given a simple system at a very affordable price that any agent can get into and stay in front of those clients for the long term. Scott, appreciate you being here today.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it.
So you just kind of want to dive into some of the ideas that you have on, the lead generation that you guys have, or let's call it opportunity generation that you guys have going on in the back end.
Yeah. So we got an entire platform for people to market their listings. That's kind of where we started at. So an entire checklist for coming soon, just listed, active, open house pending, just sold, unlimited landing pages for the, what is your home worth, empty nester, nearby sold homes, custom landing pages. So we started off as a lead generation company, did really well for the most part. Todd, you were a client like very early days with us.
Yeah.
2009, 2010, I think, right? We pretty much first started. Yeah. So good to connect with you again. And so that's kind of that was our bread and butter for the longest time. And then recently we're now getting into kind of like what you said, where it's like, the term lead generation in my mind is getting kind of played out, and it's kind of, it's not really accurate, right? Because we're not trying to generate leads. That's not the goal. The goal is to generate opportunities, conversations, engagement. It sounds cliche-ish and it sounds kind of trite maybe. But what we really are, right? We're trying to have conversations, because the more conversations we have with people, the more opportunities we have to do business with people.
So you mentioned, really targeting on the specialist type stuff, the empty nesters, the golf communities, things along that line. How are you guys? And I love the fact you have like all of it lined out. And as I'm going through your stuff, every tab has a video on how to use it. So it's like there's no tech support button because you've answered all the questions already. I know you have a tech support button on there, but there's like everything. If you have a question, it's there, and it's easy to get the answer. And they're on each tab within the site. So do you have like, as you mentioned, empty nesters or golf communities or 55 plus, or downsizers, upsizers, right sizers? Do you have like techniques in the background that shows us how to market to those specific people?
We do in our live training. So we do a lot of live training where we'll go through that kind of stuff. And so, so I guess that's the best way to do that. And also our mastermind group. So our live training, our mastermind group, we do a lot of that good stuff. So definitely.
Perfect. And you guys are doing that weekly within the mastermind?
Yeah, we do a lot of live training, usually a couple times a week. So Mondays and Thursdays. And then we I do a ton of videos. So I do probably 2 to 3 to 4 videos a week, usually from 2 to 5 minutes, sometimes 2 to 15 minutes long each, really going through these different things. Because, the problem with real estate agents is everyone does their business different. So there's no two agents that do their business the same. And so we try to make the program flexible enough to meet the needs of the agent that has their way of doing things, but also to be able to set it up so for the agents that don't really have a process or that don't really have a kind of a surefire way of getting things done, that they can get involved, do these more advanced type of things at their level, but then grow with it. So as they grow with their sophistication, as they grow with their abilities, our program can really grow with them.
I was running an ad on Friday, and I just got the account earlier in the week, and just restarted, and it took me maybe 5 minutes, and I had my ad up with no problems. You made it as simple as could be. Now the PDFs that you guys put together, for those who are listening, if you guys go in there and you start running stuff, you can do like downloadables, and people love getting the downloads because it's a lead capture. Get their email, their phone number, and they're going to put in the right email because they want the download. Phone number, could be a different story because everyone's always 867-5309. we're never Mickey Mouse anymore because we actually want to get information.
Yeah.
But, I love the fact you have so much different stuff on there. And a lot of it is throughout the home buying journey, inspection tips for sellers, inspection tips for buyers.
Yes.
And you guys I saw the announcement this morning, you're putting in Spanish. Is all the same stuff being converted to Spanish?
Yep, exactly right. That's exactly right.
So how is that going to work when an agent goes in and, or sorry, not an agent, but a consumer goes in and wants to market that stuff in Spanish? Will the ads be run in Spanish so then it knows to do the Spanish downloadables?
Yes. Well, I think what we're going to do, so the reports are being translated into Spanish, and there will be an option to run the ad in Spanish. And then there'll be the option, I'm not sure if we're going to do the option or just make it default to where when we send or make the report downloadable, if we're going to give the options in English and Spanish together. So I'm not sure if we're going to implement that where all the reports will be able to be downloadable in both English or Spanish. And again, as you're running the ad, you'll be able to say, do I want to run the ad in English? Do I want to run the ad in Spanish? And then obviously, if you run the ad in Spanish, the report will be in Spanish. And if you run it in English, the report will be in English.
Yeah, gotcha. So you're still in like beta phase of all that and how it's going to be sent out.
Yep. Well, yeah, exactly right. So the ads, what's really awesome is, and what we're seeing really good results is, so we have over 40, I think 44 right now. We're working to get to 50 PDF guides, like you said, that kind of go through the home buying, the home selling, the home ownership process. And the goal is to get in. What our clients are doing now is they're able to run ads. Like you said 5 minutes. Once you do it a couple of times, you'll be able to do it in about 30 to 60 seconds. It's like literally that easy. And so one of our clients last week, he posted in the mastermind group, one of the PDF guides, I think it's like 12 secrets of negotiating your home sale, right? And it's for homeowners.
Right.
So for homeowners, it's like 12 or 13 secrets for home seller negotiation tips or something like that. And he was able to run an ad offering that PDF guide, like in like literally 60 seconds, get the ad up. And so when people click the ad, they get that PDF guide. And these are awesome types of ads, especially to run to a targeted audience, like to retarget to previous leads, and also to send out to your database. So, again, using these guides as conversation starters, because if somebody clicks on that ad and downloads the guide, that's a much higher intent than a what is your home worth or a listing lead, right? Because now this is about a particular topic that they had to be interested enough in to click the ad, and then they had to be interested enough to submit the lead form, and then hopefully download the report and read the report. So you talked about, I love, or let me back up with this. So with him running that ad, and I want to back up again because I want to tie into what the first thing you said was you can get them running about 30 seconds. The only reason it took me about 5 minutes because I was having trouble getting my Facebook account connected. Yes.
I kept having to refresh or do something, and then it's done. So now it's going to be 30 seconds. So it'll be really fun to run the ads.
Yes.
Because you can get creative. What kind of success are you seeing with people that are running the ads right away? How fast do they start to see clicks? And do you run them forever, or do you just say, I'm going to run this ad for the weekend and see how it does, and then try something else?
Yeah, well, first of all, let me just say the ads are run through Listings to Leads. So you're not even going into the Facebook Ads Manager. Right. You go into Listings to Leads, like you're kind of insinuating, you connect your Facebook account and you connect Listings to Leads to Facebook Ads Manager. And so we've been doing this since 2009, Facebook advertising since 2010, 2011. So we know the settings, we know the things that need to be done. And when you're doing an ad through Listings to Leads, we got a 3-step quick publish guide. So you just, it's 3 steps. It's the, you put in the city that you want to target, you create the lead form, which is 2 clicks, click, and then you click the publish button. Now you can scroll down and you got your pixel, you got your placements and all that kind of good stuff. But we know, because here's the thing with real estate is not e-commerce, right? E-commerce people need a lot of options within the ads manager, but for real estate, you really don't. And so we just distilled down the ads manager to what's really needed and brought that into listings to leads. And I think the biggest thing for our clients is the lack of errors, the lack of options is actually a really, really good thing for in the real estate area. Because again, if you go through the Facebook ads manager, you could get lost in there, like literally spend 2 hours thinking you've got to click all these things, right? I mean, have you ever done that before in the ads manager? You just get, especially if they update it.
My assistant, I have a full-time marketer, two full-time marketers on my team, and they're on a call, 3 calls now with my coach about running ads through Facebook Ads Manager. And like you're talking about, that's 3 hours of calls that they're on learning. And then of course they did a change 2 weeks ago. So now let's get an update. And here I can go on and you've got it all set. I don't even have to touch the back end because that back end scares the stuff out of me. I want to mess something up.
Well, and that's where most agents get into trouble. So before we brought that into listings to leads, we'll do our live training and we'll get into the ad, dude. And I'll tell you the worst thing is, right, you're getting ready to do a webinar on Facebook ads as a vendor. And, it's let's say Monday at 11 o'clock, you're logging in and dude, you realize Facebook just changed the ads manager, right? And now you're sitting there on a training call going, oh my God, what am I doing? Right? This is like, you're just kind of faking it, trying to think where could they have moved things. So now that we brought it into listings to leads, it is a night and day difference for us, for our clients, because now we're able to train on how to use it from within listings to leads. And I tell you, the feedback we're getting from experienced agents is fast. I mean, obviously it's faster to do the ad. They're getting their ads approved faster, which is awesome. And their cost per lead, and this is all anecdotal, based on our feedback from our clients, but they're saying that their actual cost per lead is going down. And I think a lot of it is because when you're in the ads manager, and if you're not really, really experienced, you think, well, I got to click this and I got to do this and I got to do this, not realizing that there are options that you really don't need to do. And a lot of that stuff can drive up the cost of your lead gen because you're pulling in more data from Facebook and you're doing these other things that really don't move the needle except for the cost of the lead going up. Right. So within our system, we don't even allow for that stuff. But we do give you a lot of options. Again, you can retarget using our system. You can edit your placements using our system. So there are a lot of options you can use if you need them. But what we were talking about before we went live was, generating a lead. All that is a name, email, and phone number. You typically don't know the intent. You typically don't know the time period. You typically don't know where their pain point is. And so that's where using these PDF guides as kind of like your follow-up, right? Whether it's via social media as an ad or it's via email, right? Putting like your CRM. But I tell you, these guides have been really a big game changer for a lot of our clients and opening up those conversations.
Well, and I think, obviously, if they click on the PDF, I know that they're clicking on 12 reasons to sell my house. So I know there's a potential seller sitting right there versus just a typical lead ad. I'm selling 6 to 12 months, blah, blah, blah. So you know what they're looking for and you have a reason to follow up or, to follow up. Hey, did you get the PDF? Do you have any questions, et cetera? So if you're going to run the ad, obviously make sure you read the stuff so you can have the conversation.
Hey, you know what, Todd? You just hit on where we're going next with all of this. And so this week, in fact, so right now, all those guys are like the colorful, full image and all that. So we're actually creating read-only, or should I say text-only versions, so the agents can actually print up the text-only versions in like 1 or 2 pages versus like 5 to 10 page colorful report that might cost $3 to print and read.
Right.
So we're going to create a text-only version, and we're going to start really imploring our clients to read these things. Because here's the deal. You want to be able to, when you're out and about, you're at an open house, you're at the store, you're at your kid's soccer game when that comes back up. And if you've got in your head just even a quick summary of these guides and you're talking to someone, and to be able to say, hey, you know what, can I just go ahead and send you this? I got a guide on smart home technology. I got a guide on 13 secrets for negotiating a home purchase, right? And if you kind of have in your mind, like all of these guides that are available to you, but it's up in here, you're able to then connect with people and generate leads, right? Verbally, person to person. Because then you can, if they want to get the guide from you, you can get their email, their phone. You may have their phone number already, but it's adding value. It's creating that conversation.
So all the guides that you have, are those all branded to myself with my logos and all my information?
Not only are they branded to you on every page, but because we are a lead generation company, we actually have little call to actions in them as well. So it's not just a standard call me type of thing, but we actually, on every guide, we actually kind of end every guide with an appropriate call to action to increase engagement.
Okay, perfect. The and I love the text version that you're coming up with, because then I could save those on my images, or just obviously have the links inside the notes or something to be able to send it over to people. So it does make it quick and dirty if I am actually at the kids' soccer game or something, and we're just, what am I going to talk about? Mostly is real estate, because that's what I do. So here's the information. It's quick.
Yeah, and sometimes talking about real estate, you can only give a market report so many times, right? 25 homes sold, highest price home to sell. But when you can have conversations around, I'll tell you, 5 dangers of overpricing your home, right? If you know the summary of that in your head, and you're talking to someone, and they're not even thinking about selling, but you could be talking about, the home that's down the street, it's been on the market for 3 months. They obviously overpriced their home. Hey, let me, I got a guide on this. Let me go ahead and send it to you, just so if you ever do sell in the future, you have an idea of the dangers of overpricing your home, right? See how that conversation works, right? To where you're just, you're creating conversations, you're creating, just that people will remember you above and beyond, again, just a listing and selling homes, but providing really good information to them.
So if somebody's clicking on like 12 reasons to sell my house, and you have other ones about selling a home, are there follow-up emails they'll get with other guides, or do they have to request the guide that's there to get one?
Yeah, right. I'll tell you what, great question again. So right now it's a one-off type of thing. So typically, so we integrate with a lot of CRMs. So, Real Geeks, Boomtown, KW Command, Wise Agent, Line Desk, right? So we integrate with a lot of the CRMs. So
are you guys in KV Core?
Yes.
And how about Follow Up Boss?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
And if you're not, people create a Zap for everything, so they might be able to figure out a way to get Zapier into the next CRM.
Yep. And we also do, so we integrate with Zapier, we integrate with PieSync as well. Okay. So we have those integrations. But to that end, we are a week or two, a couple of weeks away from going live with follow-up plans. Okay. And I am super, super excited about that, because what we're doing is we're actually integrating all of those PDF guides into our follow-up plans. So if it's a buyer lead, we'll have up 25 guides that will be in queue to go to them, right? Just pretty much indefinitely until you take them off the follow-up. Nice.
Yeah. That's a big game changer, because that's almost like running a CRM. And your system is not a CRM per se. You're linking with them, but now I don't need to necessarily have them. I can keep my CRM a lot cleaner, because then the people, I can just keep them on the drip campaigns inside of the lead manager, and then when they convert to a client, I can drop them in the CRM at that point.
Yeah, exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Now, and you've got that coming out in a couple of weeks, which is awesome. Because that's going to be, I think, game changer for a lot of us, because it's like, next I need to get them into my CRM, put them on the right drip campaign, know how they came in, and recreate some stuff versus the typical just buyer drip.
Well, and the cool thing is when you run the ads through Listings to Leads, they're all, they default to lead ads. So unless you change something, all the leads you generate will have a name, email, and phone number, right? So let's say you run the ad for 12 secrets to negotiate your home, and you get a lead from that. Or you send it out via email and you see people click the email. So when you're following up with these leads, just make sure it's from a customer service perspective. One of the things that I see a lot of agents do is they will call the lead up and they'll try to get them out to look at homes right away. They try to get a buyer's agreement signed right away. And then when a person doesn't want to do something right away, most agents just fold, right? They freak out and the lead's no good. And they start complaining, and they don't realize that, just because you generate a lead, all that is a contact. And like what you're saying is you want to keep your CRM clean, right? You don't want all these leads necessarily in your CRM, because you want to save that for buyer and seller clients.
Right.
And so, well, that's again where these PDF guides really come into play, because, the conversation around 5 dangers of overpricing your home is a lot different from, do you want to go look at homes right now or tomorrow? Or do you want to list your home today or tomorrow, right? Those kind of conversations don't normally go that far.
Well, and it does take, a few times to get a hold of them to make sure they got it, and you're calling them. Your follow up is just with an item to make sure they got the item of value. You're not doing a general, hey, I saw your house expired. Can I, come over and list it tomorrow? Right. Instead you can send them. You can take the snail mail way of getting expired listings and have an expired book that goes to them. If you have their email, which most time we have all the contact information, we can drop that in the item of value to them as well.
Right.
And then get the drip campaign of our other listing books to go to them as well. So I think that'll be really good to have that stuff set up.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's so I wanted to ask kind of what's next for listings to leads, but you've kind of answered that. The follow up, and that's going to be the big thing.
Well, I'll tell you, you want to know what's next for listings to leads?
Yeah.
What's really next is, and we got a really cool image editor going live soon.
Okay.
So we got like so many templates. So imagine like a mini Canva, right?
Yeah.
So a really, really powerful image editor. We just finished up a couple of server configurations on our side, and I think that's going live this week.
Okay.
Like today's Monday, I think Wednesday, a really nice image editor. So within listings to leads, if you're a client of ours, we got these social media share images, and they kind of have a similar look all the way through. They got like a banner across the bottom, and they, just listed in, Folsom, California, whatever. So you're gonna have a lot more options for these images, a ton of options. And then we have a new tab called social content. So with these PDF guides, you can run ads with them, but we're going to create the ability to run just a regular Facebook post with them. So you can just do a regular Facebook post and not even an ad. So we have. So we don't have to worry about budgets or anything else at that point. What? Exactly.
So you've got this connected to Instagram as well. I think I saw on the buttons.
Yep.
How is that working? Is that just a post, or are you running like an Instagram ad on there?
Right now it's just an Instagram ad.
Okay.
So we run a Facebook ad. You can connect your Instagram account and run those ads on Instagram as well. Instagram just did release an API like about 2 weeks ago that does allow for Facebook posting, similar to Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And we're actually integrating that right now. Awesome. We're also doing Google AdWords. In fact, I just saw our development team and our design team get together this morning up on the staging server for Google AdWords. So we're doing that as well, along with the Instagram posting.
So that's something I was not expecting. So Google AdWords, let's talk on that. We're doing Google AdWords right now with our site. We're using Ylopo as our primary site, and having all of our Google AdWords run through there. So how are the Google AdWords going to run with the way you guys are set up? Can I take the 12 reasons to get my home not to sell, like have those as like things that they can take away from there, or what is that going to look like?
Dude, it is ridiculous. So have you ever done Google AdWords via Google?
I'm 4 months into it. I've been Facebook for 10 years, and we just started doing Google. And it's a learning experience because we got AdWords, we got local service ads, and we've got Google My Business. Yep. So we're just ramping up all of it. And the call I was on before this was a Google local service ads person who called off and said, I want to buy and sell a house. I was like, great, Scott, give me a few minutes. That's the call I was on.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, imagine, so you've done the Facebook ads through listings to leads. Imagine doing Google AdWords or a Google ad the same way. Literally that same wizard, like you did the Facebook, right? So in your mind, think now, Todd, because you've seen this. Some people on this call may not have seen it, obviously, but imagine the Facebook Ads Manager, and then imagine what you did inside the Listings to Leads to do the same thing, right? One is like exceedingly difficult, the Ads Manager, and one is exceedingly easy, Listings to Leads. Now, let's go to Google AdWords, right? Trying to do ads via Google. That makes Facebook Ads Manager look like third grade, right? If you think Facebook Ads Manager is complicated, wait until you get into Google and try to do an ad. Well, our system within Listings to Leads, the process, dude, it's the same thing as the Facebook ads within Listings to Leads. It's literally that easy. And I am so excited to get that live. It's going to be a game changer for a lot of our clients. A lot of people who've never done Google, because they may have looked at it and just, had just their brain exploded, just even looking at it, are going to absolutely fall in love with this because we make it so easy. Dude, it's part of the same monthly charge that we charge now. So there's no additional charge for it. But I think a lot of people are going to really love it.
So Google AdWords, when we started with them, we've got a guy, Brian Schroth out of Vegas, who's running our ads. He's actually a real estate agent with a marketing company. And he geeks out on the stuff. So it's like, have at it. Very inexpensive for him to manage the platform. Took him about 30 days to get it set up. Where it's like Hunters Creek Golf Homes, Hunters Creek Lake, lakefront, Wakaiva Riverfront, St. John's, River. He's pulling out all these keywords. So how are you guys set up in the background to know all that stuff for what we're going to be running in the area?
Yeah, essentially, we got your area, right? And so we'll know all the major keywords that you need for your area that would be typical standard for your area. And then you'll be able to add in other keywords as well. Okay.
And how do I find the keywords like that? I know oh my God, YouTube. You've got there's a website like YouTube Buddy or something, or Tube Buddy, where you can go in and type what you want to do and it'll give you all the popular keywords for it. So you make sure you put those in your, under your video, so your video gets found. Do you guys have something like that for Google?
Ooh, you know what? That's a good question. Now you got me, dude. Now you got me stumped.
Well, you make it sound so easy, so I want to make sure this can be as easy as it is.
No, I appreciate that. Let me.
I got to sit here and spend 30 days waiting for this guy to get my ads created, and then 90 days it finally takes off.
Right.
So are you guys with the Google stuff? Is it like the ad is run and then I take it down, or is it one that you want to keep up for a long time just because of the algorithms? And I think the longer it's out there, the more SEO it's going to get.
Right, exactly. So for Facebook, what we do is for buyer ads. So let's say it's a coming soon, just listed, open house or active, or it's a buyer landing page, a buyer report. We default to $35 and 1 week, right? Okay. So that's kind of standard buy side. Our standard sell side is $50 for a week. So pending, just sold, what is your home worth? And you can always increase those. Those are just our minimums. For Google AdWords, I think we're going to default to either 14 or 30 days. I can't remember which one we're doing. And we do that just so people don't forget that they got things running. They can always go in and those are just defaults. You can always, even within Facebook, right? Even though our default might be $35 for 7 days, you can go in there and say, you know what? I want to do $200 for a month, right? No problem. You can totally do that. So we always just set our standard default minimums that people can always increase. Versus the other way around. Nobody wants to spend, $400 over the course of a month. And especially if the ad wasn't working or performing that well to begin with. Right.
Right. Yeah. So you're, and this may actually probably correct what I did on last week when I was running my ad. Is it 35 for the week or 35 for the day?
35 for the week.
Okay. So I dropped it to $10, thinking it's $10 a day. And so that obviously didn't perform very well.
Typically, I'm surprised that you could even get it to $10 total.
I may have changed a setting or something to maybe do it today. I don't know. But now I see why you had the $35 in there. When we were running now, and you have a time limit on those too, because coming soon, you don't want running for 2 weeks. You only want it running for a couple of days or less than a week. The open house only should be running for up to 5 days. Because obviously if we list it on Thursday, we have an open house this weekend, it better be sold by Monday.
Well, yeah, there are some people that love to do, even like we have clients that do like a 3-day ad, even if it's a open house or a just listed, and they'll do like a Friday afternoon to Sunday night, and that's when they run their ads. And so they'll spend, $35 for those 3 days, really 2.5 days. Right. And then we have other clients that will do a 7 to 10 day ad run. Because here's the thing with Facebook ads, there's always going to be a guru to tell you how to do it. Then there's always going to be someone to come along and tell you they did it differently and it worked awesome. And so you really just have to kind of do it and play around with it and see what works best for you. But I think the nice thing is, at least with listings to leads, you're not going to bust out your bank, right, testing things out. So, you're not going to get yourself into so much trouble like you could with the Facebook ads manager, where you could literally, and I've seen people do this, right? And it's so sad. Like some agent will come to us and they'll say, I just spent $500. This is when, going through the ads manager. Oh, I spent, $500 on a 30-day ad and I didn't realize I was going to spend that much money. And it's just like, oh my God. It's like, wow, that's not a story you want to hear. Right.
I hope you got something out of it.
Yeah. Right. And so that's why we have these preset minimum defaults, really to help people not get into trouble. Because, dude, I've seen people go into the Facebook ads manager and they run ads for months and then they forget about the ads. And they got money being spent without even realizing it. So, I'd rather you have an ad end earlier than you expected than to have an ad running and spending your money without realizing it.
So with the stuff you guys have going on, and I love how you put the ends there, because I have run ads that I forget that they're running. One thing I'm thankful for with COVID is that it made us go back and look at all of our credit cards and what programs we're involved in and what I'm wasting $20 a month on or $100 a month. Yeah. It's small money, so you don't think about it. But it's stuff that is just continuing to run. And so that's kind of like that forever going ad that you have going on. Yeah. And then it's, and you don't think about it. And so it's like, and we're not in ads manager where we'll see all the ads so we can know where to stop them, since we're going to be working in your program, which is smart to work inside of your program so we can not have to be confused by all the extra stuff on the left side. Click, run, it'll shut off. Yeah. So if it shuts off in 14 or 30 days, do you guys have an email that goes out, hey, do you want to renew this?
Yeah. Well, actually, that email won't come from us, but it does come from Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, so because we are integrated with Facebook, so all the typical notifications that you do get, that you did get from Facebook, you still get from both Facebook and from us.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, because the other thing is, like, I might want that running more than 14 days, but I wanted to see how it's running. If it's performing well, cool. Let's finish it.
Yeah.
So let's pivot to how to find some properties, or how to, because we have, obviously, for every listing we take that's a good listing, we've got 8 to 25 buyers. Do you guys have ads that people are running to find like off-market properties to put these buyers into?
To find listings?
Yeah. I mean, I know it's listings to leads, but like that are to find to find those hidden sellers.
Oh, dude. Yes. And in fact, so yes, we have the nearby homeowners letter. And I'll tell you what's really awesome is every couple of weeks, we'll get an agent, will either come into the mastermind group or hit up support and tell us how phenomenal this letter is working for them. And I just spoke to a client on Friday, and this guy has been a client for quite a while. And 2 years ago, he came into the mastermind group and he said, I'm getting 2 deals out of every listing marketed with listings to leads. And one of the tools that he was using was a nearby homeowners letter, right? And this is 2 years ago.
Okay.
I spoke to him on Friday. He is still using that same letter, right? 2 years later, he says, no, this is Friday. This is 3 days ago. This is a top producing agent out of Washington, D.C. area. In fact, he's getting ready to start a team. I think he said he's hiring his first agent on April 1st. And he said, Scott, he goes, I still send out that letter, 100 letters on my coming soons. No, 100 letters on just listed, 100 to the same homes when it's active, and then 100, I think it was active, just listed, active, and just sold. So he sends these letters out 3 times, 100 of them each. So we're not 500, not 1,000.
Yeah.
And he goes, I am still getting listing appointments every time I send them out.
So he's sending it to the same people?
I'm sorry?
He's sending that same letter to the same. So active, pending, sold. He sends the active letter, pending letter, and sold letter. I mean, the same letter to each of the same people.
Yes.
For each of the stages. Okay.
Yeah. Now, so for every listing, so you get a listing at 123 Main Street, and he'll get the 100 people around that listing. And then if he has another listing at 456 Maple, then it'll pick 100 homes around that listing, right? So 3 times around every listing. And he's like, I get listing appointments every single time I send out that letter. And so that letter is killing it. And a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll send, and so this is a pro tip. You send out that letter, right? And then you use like do you use any kind of a dialer like RedX or something like that?
One of the guys on my team who does FSBOs and expireds does.
Okay. So you auto dial those same 100 homes after so you mail it, let's say on a Thursday, and let's say by Monday or Tuesday, those letters should have been delivered. And then you auto dial the same 100 homes. And either you're going to leave just a quick voicemail, or if you get them on the phone, it's just a customer service call. Hey, Mr. Smith, just want to let you know, 456 Maple Drive went, just listed for sale, just went pending, just sold. I sent you some information about it. If you have any questions, let me know. And that conversation opens up great engagement with people. It just does. People will call you back. People email you back. These are the kind of letters that people save. So people have gone into listing appointments and they see the letter sitting there on the kitchen countertop months later after they mailed them.
I've gotten calls off postcards from 3 years later. So I'm like, how'd you get my number? Because I haven't mailed anything around here in a long time. She pulls postcard. I'm like, shit, that was 3 years ago.
Yeah. Well,
direct mail lasts. Not that it doesn't work. It lasts.
Yeah. And we've got postcards. You may not even seen them because they're not new, but they're pretty new. But we got postcards. We've got door hangers. We've got letters. And I tell you, dude, I will put up our postcards and door hangers up against anybody's as far as because again, what most people try to do, and agents do this all day long, a lot of vendors do this, is they think they have to throw in the kitchen sink and letters A through Z so that just in case there's something that you missed, right? And that's the exact wrong approach to take. Even like here's a follow-up tip and most people just fail this miserably. No follow-up email to a lead should really have more than 40 or 50 words in the email, right? Yeah. If you got more than 3 sentences in your follow-up email, it's not getting read, right? So in the follow-up, I'm sorry?
It's too much data in there. They're not going to.
They're not going to, right? Especially, I see some of these market report emails that people send where it's like 1,000 words. And it's like, just kill me, right? Just shoot me, right? Who do you think's reading that? Between the 500 emails I get every day, right? Do you really think now I delete 475 of them, but like right away, but that's still 25 emails that I have to deal with. And if you think I'm going to give your email 5 minutes of my time when it is not on point with what I'm thinking about right in the moment, delete, right? Yeah. But if your email is like, 2 to 3 sentences and I can discern the point you're trying to get across either as a question or as a statement, well, now I can respond because now I can look, figure out and respond within 30 seconds. I can deal with that, right?
Yeah, that's going to open up a lot. We had an ISA who was working for us, and she went into our follow-up boss was sending text messages out to probably 300 people, but normally it was you send a question, get an answer, send a question, get an answer, and she sent 5 questions in one text. And what happened is we got spammed on our phone number inside of FUB. And I looked at the text. I'm like, this is a friggin' book. What are you doing? Yeah. And obviously she didn't work out, thank God. But I'm like, you're mailing that. She's like, I want to get my point across. I'm like, what's the point? you've got to, those. I totally understand your point with the 3 sentences, because I want to look quickly, and we are all busy people, and I'm assuming my buyers are busy too. And if they're not, then they're not your true buyers, because they're not buying a property because they're not working.
Right.
And so you want to hit those right people.
Well, yeah, because what happens is we sit and we're the people that write these follow-up program or plans, or the people that are creating them as if we're an agent. We're sitting there and we got all the time in the world to sit there and write up a wonderful email, right? I mean, we have all day long to write the damn email, but here's the problem: no one has time to read your emails. So, anyway,
So on the letter, and we'll kind of wrap up here. Where are you finding the 100 people around? Are you using like a coal, or are you pulling it in through RedX and Vulcan, or where are you getting the numbers for them?
So right now that is something we don't get involved with. So we make the letter available for print. And
I guess where are your agents getting that information?
Yeah, typically, exactly right. So they could, if they're mailing it, they'll get it from the mail house. So like Prospects Plus or Thanks IO or whatever. So they'll download it and then they'll upload it to their print house, and then the print house will have the addresses to mail. For the ones that are using like RedX or I think Vulcan, they'll download the addresses from there, I think, and then that's who they'll mail it to, because they want that one-to-one mail and phone call, right? So they want to make sure that they're going to call the same 100 homes that they actually get the letter. And so that is awesome. And then I had a client on Saturday. She went and door knocked, right? Because she's like, come hell or high water, I am going to dominate this farm this year. And she's like, I'm going to door knock this farm like once a month for the entire year. And it was hilarious, because she was telling me this, and I said, oh great, what are you going to do when you door knock? And she goes, oh, I'm just going to introduce myself. I said, oh, that's wonderful. I said, Deborah, I said, go into the Listings to Leads. And we walked through, and I and she about flipped, dude. She's an experienced agent, 25 years experience. She saw the letter. She couldn't believe it was there, that she had never seen it before. And so now she's got a reason when she door knocks, right? And depending on and this is California. So now she has a reason. So when she knocks on the door, this is a listing that just sold, because she had just sold a listing, and now she has something to talk about and hand to people.
Right.
And to be able to walk away, and these people will have her contact. They'll have the link to the single property website, which is a really beautiful, it's like, 123main.thebestlisting.com. So it's a beautiful URL by default. It's got the information about the link to the home value landing page. That's a really easy link. So these letters are not just generating branding, but they generate leads as well.
That's the door knocking is something I've always scared to do, because I don't like people coming up to my door, but I appreciate her tenacity of like, I'm going to win this, this neighborhood right away.
Yeah.
And the story I heard of a guy who was like a successful farmer. He knew that like every door he walked up to, he knew the kids, the dogs, their birth dates. He had gathered so much information about that neighborhood. And if you wanted to know anything about it, call him, because he's got the profile on everybody. I run a farm as well, which I don't door knock it. We as one of my friends always tags me on my next advertisement spam. But so for him, every time I have a bulk of postcards left, I leave it at his front door, so he gets 100 of them or 200 of them, whatever.
I would be if I was an agent still, my style would be more of the door hanger. I think I would do the door hanger, because then I can kind of get close to the door to where if I think, maybe they're home or something, and then I might knock or something. You know what I mean? I'm a little bit the same, where it's like door knocking isn't really my thing. Nope. But I'd want the opportunity where if I did want to knock, I could. So the door hanger would be what I would do.
Well, I love that you got all this stuff in there.
Yeah,
it's a whole suite of tools.
Yeah,
so that's there. So I'm gonna have to dig back into the site and find that letter, because if they're having that kind of success, we're gonna start doing that. And I got my team wants to make calls, so it's like, hey, we just got this listing. Here, you're gonna be calling the same people 3 times in the next 30 days, because we're gonna sell it. We're gonna list it, pen it, and sell it.
Yeah,
just call them. Let's get some more appointments.
Yep, exactly right.
Do you have in the background scripts and other stuff? Not that we want to follow scripts word for word, but like ideas for conversations to handle when we're talking to these people?
Dude, you are like reading my mind. I swear. We don't, but I love Tom Ferry. And there's others that I love. And if you go into YouTube and you just like Google like scripts, I don't want to say they're all the same, but you're going to see the similarity between all these scripts. And I was actually thinking about getting a hold of my support people and say, you know what, just for now, just Google, to YouTube, and I don't care for pulling in Tom Ferry's stuff or, somebody else's stuff. I mean, Tom Ferry's coaches actually send people to us. There are a number of Tom Ferry coaches that like refer their students to us. And just to make, even though it's not us coming up with them, because even if I came up with a script, I'm not inventing anything different, right? Because again, all these scripts are kind of very similar. But I was thinking about creating like a repository somewhere so that you could, link out to a Tom Ferry script, link out to a Tom Ward script, link out to a Ricky Carruth script, right? Because a lot of these guys, they've got awesome scripts. And so there's no need for me to really reinvent the wheel. But it would be nice for me to put all these great scripts that these guys and these people have into one place.
Yeah.
And dude, here's the thing I just realized, and I know I'm not the smartest person in the room. I always thought of scripts as kind of cheap and tacky. And I think it was either Tom or Mike Ferry I was listening to recently who kind of drove the point home to me, which was you don't memorize your script to be cheap and tacky. You memorize a script so that you can listen. Because the problem is when people don't have their scripts memorized, they're trying to think, oh my God, what am I going to say next? Right? Oh my God, right. All right, what do I say? What's the third thing I say again? And if you don't have the stuff internalized, you're not listening to the pauses and the ums and the ahs, which are really the communication, right, in that conversation. Yeah. And so to have that script memorized may not be the right word. Maybe it's internalized so that it's just like the water off a duck's back, because then that allows you to listen to the unsaid cues in a conversation. Because when we're trying to think of what we're going to say next, we're not listening to the person we're engaging with. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's what I love about this. I mean, I'm not a cold caller, so I've never sat down and like read through scripts and like how to talk to FSBOs and other stuff. I just like a couple FSBOs I've sold this year. I didn't call them up and ask them if they're paying a commission. I called them up and said, hey, can I see your house today at 3:00? Okay, cool. Write the offer and write the commission in the contract. Don't sit there and get into it with them. And I'm also not calling for the listing.
And here's the other thing, dude. I hear these people like the ums, the ahs, the pause. Dude.
Then you sound like you're scripted because you're trying to remember what you're supposed to say.
Exactly. Right. Don't ask, I see these people, hope you don't mind me calling you today, but I wanted to ask you, just ask the question. don't sit there and waste my time asking me if you can ask me a question. You've already got me on the line. Ask the question.
Exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Scott, I appreciate you jumping on here today. It's been awesome. I mean, guys, check out Listings to Leads. It is a great program. It's very affordable for the new agent coming in. You're not going to walk into some of these programs that people are paying $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month for. This does the same thing. And, it's the more listings you have, the more it costs, but it's like still not much more than a cup of coffee a day. So definitely check it out.
Yeah,
and cheaper than that.
It's month to month. You can cancel anytime.
Yeah. So, and there's so much data in the background. This is 10 years later, still looking at this program, and it's tenfold, obviously 10 years, tenfold, but that it's still around, still running, still doing this thing and improving every day. Scott, I really appreciate that. And, what you're giving back to the community and trying to keep this affordable for agents to try it out and, not lock us into 1-year contracts if it doesn't work. Because I've been in those before, and it's like, I want to shoot myself for signing up for that. And those are the expensive things.
Right. Yeah, no, totally. I was an agent, and I remember those days. Right. I mean, overcharged year contract. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Make it easy. And then we always come back when we want to try something different. So yeah, I appreciate any final words for the real estate community on some lead generation.
Just don't overthink it. Again, if you're using Listings to Leads, right, use your listings, use the landing pages to generate leads. Remember that, generating a lead is just the step one of a multi-step process. right? And then figure out ways to have conversations with these people, right? Use our guides, use the letters, but just understand it's a numbers game, it's a conversation game, and it's the long term. So
perfect. Well, guys, everyone have an awesome Friday. Scott, appreciate it. We will get rolling on this, and I'm going to definitely find that letter and start getting those 100 people around.
Awesome. All right, Todd, thank you. It's awesome to connect with you as well.
Appreciate it.
All right.